Good morning. Let's go. I'm Terry Fields, personal injury attorney here in the metropolitan Atlanta area. And here is makeup and legal tips. So the last video I did was about depositions, and I've been thinking a lot about it. There are things that I did not tell you about depositions, just a couple of things that I personally thought of, and I just wanted to tie up some loose ends. And then also today we're going to be talking about mediations. Oh, and I want to tell you about my documentary, the Bikram yoga documentary. I finished it. And of course, we're going to talk about a weird and unusual trivia. We'll go to the next one and I'll read it to you in just a moment. First, we're going to start off as we always do with a little bit of Visine. I wrote myself a new list, incorporating all my steps so I can make sure that I don't miss any steps. So first of all, let me just say, I hope everyone is doing well. I certainly am. The new year is going pretty well for me. Got to say that I'm feeling good. As long as I do the things that I'm supposed to be doing for myself, I feel really good. Drinking my water, eating right, things of that nature. When I don't, I feel off. So I know I need to always do those things. I gotta remember to go up, 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 up with my moisturizer. Okay, so all right. So first, let me tell you the things that I forgot to tell you last time about a deposition. Number one, a deposition is, okay. And this is the point where I tell you to stop right here. And if you have not seen my previous video about depositions, stop right here and go watch that so that you can be caught up on everything. So I was telling you about the formal nature of a deposition, and they are formal. Why? Why, Terry? Why are you saying that they're formal? One thing that's very formal about a deposition is that you are sworn to tell the truth. You have got to tell the truth in your deposition. The court reporter who we talked about, the stenographer, will administer an oath. This is one of the times when you are actually sworn to tell the truth, and it has penalties attached to it if you do not tell the truth. As a matter of fact, that's one of the functions of a deposition, is for the defense counsel to lock in your story. And if your story varies at all, your deposition is where it is a matter of record, and they can actually tweezer. Okay, I don't need to shave today because I'm good on that, but I don't need to tweeze today, I don't think. But the deposition is the time when they can lock in your story and they have a record of it written down, and they can compare it to what you have said before. So you want to be very careful that you are being truthful in your deposition. Okay. All right, just trying to organize, make sure that I have everything that I need. All right. So let me just do that one more time to make sure that I did it right. And I wanted to actually cut my eyebrows down, but now since I put the moisture on my face, I'm going to do that next time. I don't want the moisture will make the eyebrows stick to my face instead of just going off. So I'll do that next time. I'll cut down my eyebrows. I'll show y'all how I do that. So depositions are formal. Okay. And also, I don't think that I stress this enough about a deposition, kind of on that same point that I'm just making. You have got to be truthful. Number one, be truthful to your attorney that you have hired. You got to trust them that if you feel like there's anything in your background, if you feel like there's anything that is going to be detrimental to your case, let your attorney know. Your attorney can't help you if she does not know what is going on. Don't feel like you know what's best. Your attorney has experience, has years and years of practicing law. So there's probably nothing that has happened to you that your attorney has not had experience with. So just trust your attorney. We already did the video about how to pick an attorney. If you don't remember that, stop right now again. Go back, check that video out. I already told you how to pick an attorney. You should pick someone that you trust their judgment. You trust that they know what they're doing. And if that's the case, you need to trust them with, I got arrested a couple years ago, or, if you're in a car wreck and someone's at fault, your criminal history really doesn't have much to do with it. except the fact that it can be used to say that you haven't been truthful. But if there's not any other evidence, that if you have been 100% truthful in your case and your statements are consistent all around, it's not even an issue. So don't even worry about that. Just let your attorney help you. That's what we're here for. So, deposition. What else? I wanted to say you were under oath. I wanted to stress that you're telling the truth. I wanted to stress that you let your attorney assist you. Oh, goodness. What else did I want to tell you about depositions? You know what? I am not necessarily taking notes or making notes about what I'm telling you all in these videos, and I probably should do that. Oh, I just love this. It doesn't take much for this eyeshadow to come on. So, all right. So that's what I wanted to tell you about depositions. Now, today's topic is going to be mediation. What is a mediation? Oh, good. Okay. So I watched this video recently of this lady doing makeup. She did like 1,000 tips, 1,000 steps for the makeup. And one of the things that she did, which I really liked, was she used concealer up under the eyebrows. And I remember that. I remember doing that. I need to watch that video again. I can't remember how I did that, but I used to put concealer up under my eyebrows. You know, I liked her whole technique of putting on the concealer and doing the eyebrows. Oh, wow, y'all. I'm running out of primer. Oh, that's not good. Okay. So I need to get some primer. I need to go to somebody's store. Maybe I put on too much anyway, I think. Maybe I didn't need to put on as much primer. Live and learn. I was supposed to do my eyebrows. Oh my God, I feel so chaotic again this morning. I'm all out of order. Okay, yeah. Since I didn't put on my eyebrows, I'll go ahead and put the primer on my eyebrows. You know, that one thing about that video that I watched about this lady doing makeup is she did not label what she was doing, so you kind of had to guess. But I know she put that concealer on up under her eyebrows. But the thing about my concealer is it's the same color as my foundation, so you really don't get that highlighted effect that she got with the lady that she was doing. Maybe I should link that video. I don't know. I thought it was very impressive. It had like 4 million views in like 3 days. It was great. Now, I just see people do this. I don't know exactly why. I always was told concealer was to conceal little troubled areas that you have. So that's what I'm going to use it for. These little red spots and carrying on. Okay. So that was what I wanted to tell you about deposition. I wanted to make sure that I stressed about deposition, and I cannot stress it enough. I think I need to put tape a little message up here for me just to remind you to be truthful. Always tell the truth. It is never to your benefit to not tell the truth to your attorney or the other side. You're going to be found out. It doesn't help, and you let your attorney actually get on your team and assist you with whatever, talk you down, allay any concern, and actually formulate a strategy to deal with whatever it is you think is negative. Because it's not just going to go away. It will be found out, and it's going to be worse than you think, especially if you have been lying about it. So always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. All right. What I wanted to talk to you about this morning is something we call alternative dispute resolution. One particular form of alternative dispute resolution that's being used a lot in personal injury cases is called mediation. I'm going to do the 410 first. I'm going to do the 410 foundation first. Mediation is this. It is a form of alternative dispute resolution. And when we say alternative, it's an alternative to trial. Alternative dispute resolution where all the parties get together and kind of sit down and talk about resolving the case, how to resolve the case. Mediation is very popular because it is not compulsory that you actually resolve the case. The only thing that's compulsory about mediation in a lot of jurisdictions is that you attend. So a lot of times before the court will allow the parties to actually try a case, they will require that the parties participate in mediation. It will be court annexed, which means that the neutral who presides over the mediation is approved by the court or appointed by the court to actually mediate your case. All right, so, okay, like I always say, I understand what I'm saying, but I'm understanding right now that I am jumping around. So I already said that what I'm telling you about right now is an alternative to trial. So we talk about alternative dispute resolution. Trial is the process where a judge or a jury will make the determination. And so we're talking about alternatives to that. What can we do alternative to that? What I'm saying about mediation only makes sense if I tell you about other means of alternative dispute resolution. One of the more popular is arbitration. If you have any kind of contract that you have entered into, you probably have an arbitration clause. You've probably seen an arbitration clause. There'll be, which one? Right. I was just looking at someone, they contacted me about a car warranty. They're having issues with their car warranty people. And let me take a look at the contract because it's time to sue. They're really being done the dirt by the car warranty company. And I took a look at the paperwork, and it's actually, an arbitration clause is right there in the paperwork. So that this person who I was talking to would actually have to engage in in arbitration in order to resolve their case. So if you have a car warranty or any contract right now that you can look at, go ahead and just look at it right now. And you can see near the end is always going to be a dispute resolution clause. And it's going to tell you right there, in the event of a dispute, you have to go to arbitration. And it actually should lay out for you the process of going to arbitration. There'll be an arbitrator picked by AAA. You have to make a claim. If you go, AAA is the American Arbitration Association. And if you have to go to their website, and there's a form that you can fill out and all that stuff. And it lays out whether there'll be 3 arbitrators or 1. Arbitration is a binding process, which means that you participate and the arbitrator makes the decision. The arbitrator sits kind of like a quasi judge, and they sit up there, and it could be a panel, maybe 3 people, or it may be 1. And if it's 1 person, both sides will agree or should agree on who that 1 person is. And of course, your attorney will be able to assist you in figuring out who that is. And if you are not represented, if you're doing this on your own, I would suggest that you just ask around and make sure that your arbitrator has a reputation for being fair. And, okay. And so, and if it's a panel, usually maybe one side would pick one, if it's like 3, a panel of 3, one side would pick 1 arbitrator, the other side would pick 1 arbitrator, and then both sides would agree on the 3rd. So the arbitrator or the panel of arbitrators actually decide. It's like an informal process. It's not as formal as trial. It's a private process. You don't get to appeal from it. The arbitrator will hear testimony and look at evidence, consider evidence, and actually come to a decision on the case as to what's going to happen in the case, as to what the resolution of the case is. And again, it's very secretive process. It's not, the public is not entitled to sit down. You'll notice that for court trials, the public is welcomed. Actually, our tax dollars pay for courts, so the public cannot be excluded from courts for the most part, unless they're like sensitive issues, unless there are overarching concerns of the parties. For the most part, public trials are public, and they are open to the public, and whatever's filed at trial during the pendency of your litigation is subject to research and review by the public. Okay, so but I think you understand arbitration. You could just see there, it's just this private. I'm trying to think of any movies that have depicted an arbitration. Trying to think, what's that case, that movie about the water? I can't remember, but okay. I don't remember. It's a woman's name. Julia Roberts starred. I don't remember whether that was an arbitration or not. Right, it was. I remember it was an arbitration because she was saying, people don't understand this arbitration thing. What is it? And so, and you can actually agree to go to arbitration. Sometimes it's a part of the contract, but you can agree to go to arbitration. It is advantageous. The one thing about arbitration that's good is that it's a quick process. It's very fast. So I said all that to say, to contrast mediation to arbitration. Mediation, you usually have one mediator. I have seen mediations that have two mediators. It gets a little chaotic, and usually that's when you have like multi-millions of dollars involved, and you have a whole lot of insurance companies involved, and maybe mediators are involved. Just, it's very complicated, and just to keep things straight, you get two mediators, maybe one mediator for this set of issues and another mediator for that set of issues. So there is no rule book. There's no one way to do this thing. There are several ways to do it. And so, but usually the cases that I'm involved in, the cases that I've seen, there have been one mediator involved. All right. So, you may have a court-appointed mediator, or you could have a private mediator. If the court makes you use their mediators, it's usually more cost effective. As you could tell, they have more of a volume. As you could, probably guess, the mediators that are court appointed have more of a volume, and they're able to do this kind of like an economy of scale. So they're able to charge a little less and be a little bit more efficient about it, their process. And maybe you don't get as much time with the mediator, but maybe that's exactly what you need. It just depends on the case. The larger the case, you'll probably get a private mediator. Private mediators have their own. Okay, so like the court-appointed mediator, you may meet with them in the courthouse and they'll talk with you about your case. Private mediator, you may have to go to their office, which are usually very, very, very nice. And that's what they do. They have their whole office set up so they can mediate cases. Mediation is this. I have seen mediations go several different ways. You start out in open session with everyone telling the mediator, and the mediator comes in blind. The mediator doesn't know anything about the case. So everyone, let me stop. I just said that every mediation can be different, right? Sometimes you may submit a pre-mediation report to the mediator just so they can be generally aware of as to what the issues are. The mediator is neutral. The mediator should not have made up their mind one way or the other, but maybe sometimes it is good based on the complexity of the matters just to get them to understand what's going on. So, but anyway, and during the opening session, each side, usually the plaintiff goes first and has an opportunity to tell the mediator their side of the issue, what's going on, what are the issues in the case. The mediator, and I've actually done mediation training. I have in my past life been a mediator. I no longer mediate cases. You have to go to specific training and get a certificate. And so then usually the plaintiff will go first, tell about their side of the case, what's going on from their perspective. Then the defendant will go next. Sometimes, I have seen where I've been involved in mediations where it is going so well just from that opening session that the parties can stay in one room and just start talking. But usually what happens is the parties will split off and do what's called a caucus. And you may be familiar with that from the political arena of the Iowa caucus. That just means that you go into a little room and you all talk and discuss amongst yourselves. So the plaintiff will usually have their own room, and then the defendant will have their own room, and then for the rest of the day, the mediator kind of goes back and forth. But I have seen where people will stay in open session. They will stay together in one room and just discuss and resolve the whole thing, because it could be, oh, I didn't know that happened. I didn't understand that from your perspective. Oh, I have a whole new way of looking at this. Let's talk right now and let's resolve this. Sometimes throughout the day, the mediator may say, oh, it's advantageous for us to all get back together right now and talk again. But mostly what happens is after that open session, the parties are broken out and they're never in the same room again, to give the mediator the opportunity to go back and forth. And usually what is discussed is the mediator will just be trying to get the parties to agree. I don't know. I want to go all out of order. Oh, I know this should be the last thing that I did. It's usually the last thing I do. I just want to get this out of my way. Off the table. So, and I'm not going to use this. So, oh, yeah, whatever. No, let me do this. It does matter. So, mediator goes back and forth, just trying to get the case resolved. I told you that I was a mediator because I want to tell you something about strategy. What I learned when I was taking my mediation training is very often, let's say there's many issues. One issue is always going to be easier to resolve than the other. So you always want to go with that first issue where the parties are not that far apart to make it look like we're getting progress. I have seen mediations that have gotten nowhere. No one is getting anywhere and the parties were ready to quit. So just having a little thing that we agree on, a little something that shows that we're getting somewhere will help all the parties relax. And maybe I can't talk while I'm doing this. What a mess. It'll help the parties relax and just help them feel like they've accomplished something if there is at least one issue that they have been able to resolve. Let me go ahead and put on my lashes here. You're supposed to start from the outside. Oh, I think that works. I'm going to get some more of these. I just got one set of magnetic. I like them already. Can't talk while I do these. You got to actually grip the lash. Why do I want to put that down, Lord? Can't see. Huh. Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying about mediation. Okay, but what we're going to do is this. That way, I like putting the white on so I could see, make sure that I've covered all the lashes. Okay. So the mediator goes back and forth. The mediator is really at work there. And it's good for everybody to attend in good faith. Again, the mediator is not making any decision as opposed to your arbitrator. The arbitrator is the decision maker. They sit in the place of the judge, and it's much more formal. Even though it's not as formal as court, it's more formal than a mediation. So all the mediator is trying to get everyone to a place where they can agree. The mediator will draft up a settlement agreement and all that if the case does resolve, if the mediation is successful. But of course, it doesn't have to be successful. Only thing you have to do is attend, and you should attend in good faith to not waste anyone's time. So it's a way of keeping the courts. Well, I do still see white. Woo, these are long lashes. Jeez, I don't remember them being that long. Ugh, there's so much white still. Okay, these look like spider legs now. Ugh. Okay, that is the issue. Okay, so let me see if I can get these. Okay, that already looks better. No. Okay, that does look better. I don't know, whatever. I did buy some eyelash glue eyelashes. I think I might use these sometime, and then I realized I already had some lashes. So the ones that I'm using now are the magnetic glamnetic lash, and I'm gonna need to clean these real good because I put a lot of mascara on them. But these Huda Beauty, I don't even know if I have adhesive. I'll have to check those out, but those might be the next things that I use. So eyelash. So we did. Okay, so I hope you're getting a good picture of mediation. And if you watch the video on deposition, you know that traditionally depositions were in person. That's the same for mediation. Traditionally, they have been in person. Everybody's sitting around the same conference table in the opening session and then breaking off into separate rooms. But in the age of COVID, guess what? Just like depositions, mediations have moved online, which I think is a wave of the future. I got no problem with it. Where is my tissue? Okay, something I don't like about these eyes. What is it? What is it? Oh, you know what? I was supposed to be using this anyway. I see why they give you this comb to use. Anyway, that's going to have to be good for now. Mascara, eyelashes. And I think I'm good on my eyebrows. I think I like the way my eyebrows are looking this morning. I could use a little highlight up under there. We'll see. Okay, I did the lip liner. I love this. Let me tell you, I have fallen in love with this little thing. This would be my third time using this lip plumper, and I love it. I love the little tingle it gives me on my lips. And I'm thinking about putting this in my purse, so I could just carry this around with me. I kind of love it. So I did my lip liner, lip gloss. Okay. And I think I'm just about done this morning. But let me make sure. Let me, this is my brush cleaner. And I didn't drink my water, didn't drink any of my water. You must hydrate, people. These lashes are going to take some getting used to. They are much heavier than just my normal eyelashes. I hate caked up makeup, Lord. I didn't even think I was using that much. A little break for you all to comment down below. Comment anything that might help me. Lord, she needs help. Oh, I didn't put my jewelry down here. All right, so that's my makeup. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm gonna have to wash that because that got dirty. Okay, I always like to blend in the hairline. I don't want it to be such a clear line of demarcation there. Blend in the neck, blend in the ears. So that's a mediation. Okay. you go, you're in there, it's a neutral person. You get the easy issues out first, deal with those. They go back and forth. Oh, how long does the mediation take? Of course, it just depends. If you have 10 different issues, it's going to take longer than it would than if you had one, if you only had one issue. So it just depends on how many issues that you have. Depends on so many factors. Depends on your mediator. I mean, you could just think about the situation where you have someone who is long-winded, whether it be the defense attorney, the defendant themselves, your attorney. That's gonna, just answering, some people who take 5 minutes to answer a 1 minute question. It just depends on the factors. Everyone involved makes it vary as to how long your actual deposition is going to take. Ooh. Okay. All right. I'm going to clean my brushes in just a second. Oh, jeez. There's a lash on my face that is making me itch. Get off of me. All right. This is as good as it gets, people. I am watching some makeup tutorials and I'm going to do better in the future. Okay, so today in our weird and unusual trivia book, we're going to talk about Eleanor E. Ritchie. Eleanor E. Ritchie, heiress to the Quaker State Refining Corporation, passed on her $4.5 million fortune to her 150 dogs when she died in Florida in 1968. The will was contested, and in 1973, the dogs received $9 million. By the time the estate was finally settled, the value had jumped to $14 million, but only 73 of the dogs were still alive. When the last dog died in 1984, the remainder of the estate went to the Auburn University Research Foundation for the research into animal diseases. Y'all, it takes all kinds. Yo, just take care of your old people. Be nice to them. Maybe they'll leave you something instead of leaving it to their dogs. Okay, so last but not least, let me tell y'all about this Bikram yoga documentary. This man was trash. So the biggest part was how he just treated people. The sexual assault allegations he made face justice for, he still hasn't at this point in time. No, he has not faced any criminal prosecution, which is what I'm interested in. He has faced some civil penalties for it, but the man was just trash. And they have him on tape just talking to people ugly. People who are in his class idolizing him, and he's calling them names, and I don't know. It takes all kinds. But very interesting. There are just a lot of people with mental illness. I don't know. Just what makes you... I'm just so glad that I understand. You just can't talk to people any kind of way. You just can't treat any people any kind of way. I know how I want to be treated. So it's just very, very interesting to see what this man was able to get away with. This is my little mirror over here. Oh my God, what is this on my face? Okay, that's my 10-time magnification mirror over here that I'm looking at. See, I have a little rose in the back of my head here. Okay, yeah, so very interesting. It's on Netflix. I do believe it is a Netflix documentary, so I hope I'm not dating myself in this video. I hope by the time, if you're watching this 10, 15 years from now, I hope you can still watch it on Netflix. Very, very interesting. So I highly recommend it. I watched it over a couple days, and I think it goes by pretty fast. When they started to get to the allegations, it went pretty fast. So he was just really, really trash. And I am just so glad that there are women who are willing to stand up, talk about what happened. Because there was one teacher, actually was a guy who was teaching the classes who and I appreciate this in this documentary, he straight up resented the women for coming forward. I appreciate the real. Give me the real. What these women were up against. Not everybody is just their cheerleader. I think we're in a stage and a phase right now where people are more open and receptive to sexual assault allegations and are willing to be open to listen to them. And so I think it's good for us to realize it's not always been that way. It has not always been that way. It's been very difficult for women to come forward. Even this guy, women had come directly to him to say this had happened. He knew it had happened and was still very resentful of the women coming forward. So very, very interesting. So I did not bring my jewelry down, my earrings and my ring that I'm going to use today. So I'll just take a couple of pictures and post those elsewhere. So if you want to see the completed look, you feel free to check that out. So I'm going to just wrap this video up. Y'all comment, like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow we're doing frequently asked questions, and I'm going to tell you how to get that car fixed. What do you do? I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you all. I hope you have a wonderful day.